This is Villa View. Coming up, Houlier's men continue to let Leeds slip. Hello and welcome to Villa View. I'm Paul Bradley and I'm delighted to have Matt Kendrick back in the pundit's chair next to me. Hi Matt.
Hello there.
Well, Aston Villa drew at the weekend 2-2 with Everton. It's another example of them letting Leeds slip.
Yeah, it was. It was a strange old game, really. I think a draw was probably a fair result, but it was strange how it came about. Regardless of what you say, though, it's a time where Villa need desperately to pick up points, and with 7 minutes left, winning 2-1, it's a case of throwing it away again, really, I'm afraid. I think by my Carol Vorderman style calculations, that's 23 points dropped now from winning positions, which I know it's every club can claim ifs and buts, but if Villa would have held on to those leads, they would have had an extra 23 points, which would have put them, I believe, on 57 points, which would have put them third in the league. So, I mean, this argument, are Villa too good to go down? No club's too good to go down, but it suggests Villa have got the quality to get into these winning positions. It's just a matter of holding on to them now.
And it's not just letting Leeds slip, I suppose it goes hand in hand, but it's late goals as well, isn't it? It's becoming a habit for Villa, the last 5-10 minutes, letting a goal in. Yeah,
you've got to ask yourself, what's it down to? Is it down to poor fitness? Is it kind of a lack of concentration? Is it down to the fact that they just don't want it enough? They don't care enough to protect that lead. We've been told, we spoke to Darren Bent about it the other day, we've been told that it's not down to fitness, it's down to individual mistakes. In Villa's defence on Saturday, it was down to a poor penalty decision going against them. So I suppose that's a little bit of mitigation, but it's happening too often. I think they've conceded 20 goals in the last 15 minutes of games, and there's only Blackpool, one of their fellow relegation rivals, who have a similarly bad record in the closing stages.
Now, at the other end of the pitch, Darren Bent's actually coming into quite good form, both for country and for club. How's he getting on at Aston Villa from what you've been speaking to him?
I think he's taking it all in his stride. I mean, Darren Bent does exactly what it says on the tin, doesn't he, really? Villa knew when they signed him for big bucks that he'd score goals, and he's proved that. He's got 5 goals in 9 games for Villa, I think. I think he's scored 3 in his last 3 for England, so he's a kind of tried and trusted Premier League goal scorer. But it must be frustrating for him knowing that he scores two well taken finishes away from home and his team still doesn't win the game. He's very diplomatic and very, very kind of screwed on, with his head screwed on Darren Bent. So when we did speak to him at Goodison, he was kind of saying, well, it's a team game. I'd rather have just scored 1 goal and Villa won the game. So he's not blaming his teammates. He knows that he knows what he signed up for, basically. When he signed for Villa, Villa was still in trouble. It looked like they were out of it, and now they're back in it. But Darren Bent will work hard, and I think he's Villa's kind of beacon of hope during the last 7 games, that if they can tighten it up at the back, then he'll score them enough goals to keep them up.
And just lastly, before we go today, Matt, Newcastle at home next for Villa. How do you see that game panning out, and also the atmosphere at Villa Park, what that's going to be like? It's
an interesting one. I know the atmosphere for the last game against Villa Park, the last game at Villa Park against Wolves wasn't particularly pleasant. A lot of anti-Houllier feeling, and the result obviously didn't help that. To their credit, the away fans at Goodison were kind of unanimous in their support and quite vocal as well all the way through, cheering Villa on to an important point in the end. I think these things feed off each other. I think if Villa can get off to a good start and get an early goal against Newcastle, then I think the Holt end and the 3 other stands will be fully behind the team, if not all behind the manager. But it's important. It's important that they do give the fans something to cheer about, and it's important that they do to start turning 0 or 1 points into 3 points, because the teams around them, be it Blues, be it Albion, are winning games, and Villa can't afford to not win games for much longer. OK, Matt, well, thanks for that today, and thank you for watching. We'll be back again next week with more Villa View.